Now once ballots are submitted, there's only going to be a few different ways that the candidates can be ranked. So we can group together any identical ballots to form what is called a preference schedule. Which is a table that summarizes the results of the election, and it shows how often each particular outcome was selected. So we're going to take a look at this example that we're going to return to several times throughout this unit. So the Math Appreciation Society, or the MAS, is a student club dedicated to an unsung but worthy cause, that of fostering the enjoyment and appreciation of mathematics among college students. Now the MAS chapter at Tasmania State University is holding its annual election for club president, and there are 4 candidates running: Alicia A., Boris B., Carmen C., and Dave D. Every member of the club is eligible to vote, and the vote takes the form of a preference ballot. So as a reminder, for a preference ballot, that means each voter is going to be asked to rank each of the 4 candidates in order of preference. There are going to be 37 voters who submit their ballots, and the 37 preference ballots that were submitted are shown below. Now just when we say that there's only going to be a few different ways that the candidates can be ranked, so let's take a look at this type of example. So we have 4 candidates, and they're going to be ranked first, second, third, and fourth. So first, second, third, and fourth. There are 4 possibles for the first place, 3 possible candidates for the second place, 2 possible candidates for the third place, and 1 possible candidate for the last place. So using a counting principle, we can multiply these numbers together. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That means that there are 24 possible ways to rank these candidates. Now we're going to find when we hold elections that we're not going to ever come anywhere near these total possibilities. But this is also what we mean when we say that there's only going to be a few different ways that we can rank them. So when we create a preference schedule for this election, so the first thing we're going to put down is the number of voters. And we're actually going to be listing the number of voters across the top here as we start organizing our ballots. Underneath number of voters, let's include our rankings. So first, second, third, and fourth. So now we're going to come up to our ballots and start seeing what different types of ballots that were generated. So this first ballot I'm looking at is a ballot that says A, B, C, D for my ranking of first, second, third, and fourth. So I'm going to go through all of these ballots and find how many ballots have A in first, B in second, C in third, and D in fourth. So I'm seeing that ballot occurs here, here. Alright, so just kind of going through here. Hopefully we don't miss one. Alright, so I think we found them all. Let's see how many we ended up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the number of voters that voted that way were 14 voters. They had a ballot of A, then B, then C, then D. Alright, but there were other ballots generated, so all we're going to do to complete this preference schedule is that we're going to start recording the other types of ballots, and then we're going to go through our all of the ballots and then just count how many were generated in that fashion. So I would encourage you to take a moment to complete this yourself and then check it against the table that I'm going to build. Alright, so I hope that you have paused this and gone ahead and tried to complete this preference schedule on your own. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you then what are the other types of ballots that are on here and then how many ways people voted that way. Alright, so another ballot that exists here is going to be in the order of C, B, D then A, There are 10 people that voted that way. Another type of ballot is D, then C, then B, then A. There are 8 people that voted that way. Another type of ballot that occurs is B, D, C, then A. There are 4 people that felt that way. And then finally, C, D, B, then A. And there is 1 person that felt that way. One of the key things that when you're making these preference schedules is that the order that these columns occur does not matter. Okay? So for instance, if you had your next column being the ballot that was B, D, C, A, because that's the next one you saw right here and that's what you built into this row, that's absolutely fine. What matters when we check these schedules is that you will ultimately have these 5 columns, that your rankings are correct in each of the columns, and that your numbers are correct up here at the top.